welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, I have a very different background for today's video. That's because I am at my parents' house visiting them, and I wanted to make sure that I could get up the videos that I have been promising you guys. So yeah, today's video is going to be another cruelty-free makeup collection video, and this one is going to feature some more single eyeshadows. And the single eyeshadow brands that I'm going to be talking about today are both from Makeup Geek and from Morphe. I have about 2 other brands that I'm going to be talking about, but I'm going to make that a separate video. A little disclaimer, if you guys hear any yiping or anything, my puppy is in the next room. He is in like his big playpen thing, but he really wants mommy right now. So if you hear any little puppy noises like that is what is going on with that situation. So the first thing that I have right here is a big giant Z palette. This is the extra large Z palette that you can just order from Amazon. I really love this because it's nice and sturdy, and it has all of the different, you know, magnetization or whatever you want to call it. And here it's just a normal Z palette. It's the actual Z palette brand. I do have another really cool Z palette that I got from a company that sells her Z palettes on Etsy. Hi, honey. Please don't move the camera. And that one is really, really cool. So I'll be showing that to you guys in my next video where I do my single eyeshadows, but this one is just the normal Z palette. Okay, I'm back. My husband and my dad walked in and they're like, what the hell are you doing right now? So I asked them if they could go outside so I could finish up the video. So basically inside here are all of my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I decided to go with the extra large palette because I love Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I'm pretty sure everyone who tries them becomes obsessed with them because they're so good and they're at such an amazing price point. So up here I have all of my matte shades, and then right here I have shades that have shimmer in them, and then down here are my foiled eyeshadows. So obviously I want to expand my collection, but what I have so far I'm really, really liking because I have a good range of warm tones, cool tones, neutral tones, and I love my matte shades. And then I also love my shimmer shades and my foiled eyeshadows. So I feel like I have a pretty decent collection of the Makeup Geek eyeshadows, but I figured for this video I'm going to just show you what each one is, and then I'll probably swatch a couple of my favorite ones. But let's go ahead and start with this one right here. This is called Peach Smoothie. It's a really beautiful warm tone shade. It's definitely more on like the peachy side, obviously, given by the name. It's picking up a lot more white on camera, but I promise it is like very vibrant in color. And the thing that I love about this little eyeshadow is that it's a perfect transition shade. So anytime I'm going in with a warm tone look, like the makeup look that I'm wearing right now, I did use this as my transition shade. It's not too dark and it's not too light. It gives you that perfect wash, and it's a really great color to blend out the rest of your eyeshadows as you go along in your makeup look. Then I have this really stark white shade right here. This is called White Lies. So it is a true matte white. It's not ivory or cream. It is definitely like a true white color. And I love to use this whenever I'm wanting to open up the inner corner of my eye. And then also just to put like a little tiny bit on the inner corner of my eye, so you can either kind of put it all over the inner corner of your crease, or you can put it just in the center area, and it just really widens your eyes and makes them look bright and vibrant and beautiful. It's the perfect white shade. If you don't have a really nice white in your eye makeup collection, I highly recommend this one. I'll show you guys exactly how pigmented it is. It's very, very pigmented. So this is what it looks like, literally just one little swatch. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I've been waiting for a long time to get this in. My last order, that's what I got it in. Next up, we have Shark Bait, which is a really beautiful, vibrant, kind of turquoise blue color. I am obsessed with this shade. I feel like I don't know why I haven't used it yet in the summer, probably just because I've been so busy. I haven't really done a whole lot of colorful looks other than what I do here on my channel, but I really want to dive into this color. It is so stinking gorgeous. This is definitely one of the creamiest blues that I've ever felt in my entire life, and that is the pigmentation on it. It is just absolutely stunning, super, super beautiful. I love that shade. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the purple tone, so more of the cool tones. This one right here is called Cupcake. It's a really beautiful kind of like mauve-y pink tone. I love this color whenever I am doing any sort of cool tone look to put it directly into the crease. I would say it's a little too dark for me to wear as a transition shade, but if you definitely do have more of like a darker skin tone, this could be a beautiful transition shade for you whenever you're doing a cool tone look or like a pinky look or purple. But I love this color, you guys. Like, I have been obsessed with pinks lately. I've been saying that on my channel all the time recently, but it is just absolutely gorgeous. Definitely one of my favorite pink eyeshadows that I have. And then next up we have Fashion Addict. So this one right here is kind of more of like a watered down neon purple, if that makes any sense at all. Like, it's just such a gorgeous shade. It's very unique. It definitely has a lot of really pretty lilac undertones to it, and I love to use this with blues as well as with purples or pinks. I think it's the perfect color that you can like mix in with other colors. I think that this would look absolutely gorgeous all over your lid, or in the crease area, in the outer V, whatever you want to do with it. I just think it's an amazing, versatile color. And then I have this gorgeous army green shade. This one is in the color Dirty Martini. If you guys have green eyes or brown eyes, I highly suggest getting this matte eyeshadow. Again, it's one of those shadows that you can put into your crease area, not as a transition shade. Obviously, it's way too dark for that, but just to kind of deepen up that crease area. I would also recommend getting it into the outer V, all over the lid, if you're looking for like kind of that matte olive color or olive eye look. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's the perfect shade of army green. Next up, we have this gorgeous true orange. This one is in the shade Morocco. Anytime I'm doing a warm look and I just feel like it's pulling a little too much brown, I will put this into my crease area just to add a little bit more warmth and depth and kind of dimension to the eye. But as you guys can see, it's definitely more of like a true orange shade, but it's not neon. So it's just definitely true orange. I absolutely love it. But I will say, whenever you apply it to your lid, it's not something to where you're like, holy shit, I have orange all over my eye. It's definitely not like that. It's such a beautiful color and it blends like a dream. Next up, we have one of my favorite shades of all time from Makeup Geek. If you guys have been around my channel, I am a warm tone kind of girl. Every now and then I'll kind of like go into my cool tone phase, but for the most part, I really love warm tone eyeshadows. But this is Cocoa Bear. If you guys are in the need for like chocolatey, hot chocolatey, warm toned, medium brown, this is perfect. Honestly, you could not get better than this. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I'll swatch it for you guys. I actually have this on my eyes today in the crease area and in the outer V. It is such a gorgeous color. Definitely one of my top favorites. And it's good for everyday use. So if you are the kind of girl who wears like browns every single day, I highly recommend that, because you could easily turn it into a nighttime look if you add just a little bit more to the outer V. Next up, we have Sidekick, which is a little bit different than Cocoa Bear. I'll show you both of them together. This one has a little bit more of like an orange and a little bit lighter. So I'm trying to like, it's still zooming in on my face. I don't know why. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, there we go. So over here we have Sidekick, and then this is Cocoa Bear. So you can see it's about a shade or two lighter, and to me it looks like it has a little bit more of like an orange undertone to it. But again, this is going to be a perfect shade if you are obsessed with warm tone mattes like I am. It's honestly gorgeous. This I would probably say is definitely more of like your everyday wear for a matte brown. And then if you're wanting to like spice it up and go a little bit darker, Cocoa Bear would be perfect to take into the nighttime. Next up, we have a really, really cool eyeshadow. This one is called Chickadee. It's kind of like a yellow mustard color. Again, this is really similar to Morocco. I will use this whenever I'm trying to add just a little bit more of a dimension. Oh my God, I'm looking straight up green right now because of my mom's walls. Bear with me with the lighting in this video, you guys. I'm so sorry, it's terrible, but we're just gonna have to roll with it for today. But anyways, this eyeshadow is so cool because anytime, again, whenever I'm wanting to add just a little bit more dimension or a little bit of a different look to my warm toned eyes, I will add a little bit of this into the crease area and kind of bring it up into like the upper crease area, and it just brightens up your eye look. So if you're kind of looking at your eye and you're thinking it's a little too dull or a little too muddy and it's just not like giving you the vibrancy that you're wanting, try adding in like a mustard yellow or an orange and you will see a huge difference. And obviously you can go back with your other eyeshadows and really blend it out, but I promise you it's going to add so much more dimension to your eye look. It's incredible. Next up, we have Bitten, which is a really, really beautiful wine color. So it's definitely pulling more brown on camera, but it is a true kind of like wine cranberry shade. Oh my God, you guys, this is literally the perfect warm toned wine color for the fall and winter months. It is super hard to find like a really pigmented red, and this one takes the cake, honestly. Like I have not found very many awesome eyeshadows that are more red in tone, and this one, like Geek, I don't know where the hell that came from, but Makeup Geek did such an amazing job by creating this color. It is so beautiful and it is perfect for the fall and winter months. For my last Makeup Geek matte eyeshadow, this one is called Petal Pusher. This is the perfect transition shade for a cool tone look. It's definitely on the gray purpley side, so I don't really know how this would look with blues. I haven't tried it before, but for grays, for blacks, for purples, anything in that realm, this color is gorgeous. It is the perfect transition shade. It's kind of similar in lightness as Peach Smoothie. Can kind of see them together. So this is the perfect transition shade for a cool tone look. Now I'm going to jump into my shimmer eyeshadows. So these can be either like just straight like satin shimmery eyeshadows, or they're going to be more of like a matte with glitter inside of them. But they're not foiled. These are just like the shimmer eyeshadows. So first up, I have Shimma Shimma, which is a really beautiful highlight shade. I'll swatch it for you guys, but this is what it looks like. So I love to use this on my brow bone. I love to use it all over my lid, on the inner corner for a highlight. It is absolutely gorgeous. I will say it's definitely more on the cool tone side, so you might want to be a little bit careful if you are going for like a matte warm tone look or something like that, and you're trying to get just a little bit of a brow highlight, but you don't want too much of this. If you're going for more of like the warm tone look, I would definitely save this for more of the cool tone look, but it's absolutely gorgeous and it gives the perfect amount of shimmer. Next up, we have a really cool shadow. This one is called Bada Bing. So it's kind of like a really deep chocolate brown, and then the reflex that you're seeing are red. So I honestly haven't even used this all over my eyes, but I'll swatch it for you guys. This is what it looks like. So it definitely is like a chocolatey color, and then as you guys can see, it kind of picks up the light and it reflects that red. So I feel like this would be the perfect eyeshadow if you're going for kind of like that really smoked out, dramatic, black, smoky eye. And I would love to put this like on the outer V or all over the lid with like matte as the rest of my eyeshadows. I just think it's a really, really cool color. It's absolutely gorgeous. Next up, we have a really nice shade. This one is in the color Goddess. This one is definitely more of like a brick red shade, and it's a shimmer color. So this one's really cool just to wear like all over the eyes. It would go really well with any of the warm tone mattes that I showed you guys. And it also goes really well with any sort of like bronze or gold. So if you're wanting to kind of do like a cascade effect and have like gold on your inner corner or something, this would be a really, really nice shade to put into your outer corner if you're wanting to do kind of like a cascade or like a sunset effect. Next up, we have a really pretty gunmetal gray. This one is called Moon Dust. Again, it's a shimmer eyeshadow, so I feel like this would be really, really nice to kind of lighten up a smoky eye and put it all over the lid or just kind of like more towards the inner corner of it. But it's really pretty. It reflects the light beautifully, and it honestly looks like a true gunmetal, like gray silver color. It's really nice, super pretty, and very, very pigmented. Next up, we have Burlesque, which I love to pair with, what is this? Bitten, the really pretty wine shade that I showed you guys earlier. But this one is so freaking gorgeous. It's pretty much just like Bitten, but a little more purpley and definitely obviously more of like a shimmer eyeshadow, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's super pretty for like an all over the lid color. Again, outer V, whatever you want to do with it. It's just a really, really pretty shade. Next up, we have one of my favorite eyeshadows that I haven't even really worn on my eyes yet, but just looking at it, it's freaking gorgeous. But this is called, what are you? Sensuous. And it is a true purple color, and then it has reflex of gold in it. So I'll swatch it for you guys, but it's picking up a little bit weird on camera, obviously because my lighting is all wonky, but it's a true purple. I don't know why it's picking up more of like a gray color, but it has reflex of gold in it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I need to play. See, this is why I'm doing these videos, you guys, because it's reminding me of all of the amazing eyeshadows and stuff that I have that I never use and I need to use. That's why I'm on a no buy. So I love that shadow. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to jump into the foiled eyeshadows that I have from Makeup Geek, and they are amazing. If you guys are looking for any sort of foiled eyeshadow, something that's going to be super metallic that you can put all over your lid, that's absolutely gorgeous, works really well, blends really well, I highly recommend the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows. The first one I have is Legend, and this one is definitely more of like a bronzy kind of gold shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. As you guys can see, it's pulling more of like that bronze color on camera, but I've never felt, other than like my Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette, such buttery eyeshadows whenever it comes to a foiled eyeshadow. And pigment, look at that. Can you imagine how hard it would be for those chemists to get something? Literally, that was one swipe. But could you imagine like trying to get it that good? I mean, they must have worked their butts off to get that color that good, because it is just absolutely amazing. Again, look at the reflect. It's just so good, you guys. But I would recommend putting that all over the lid. Next up, we have Curtain Call, which again goes with those other two really beautiful wine colors. It's definitely more of like that maroon wine. And this one I've used in videos before. Literally one swipe, you guys. Like, I'm not trying to flip you off, but you know what I'm saying. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at that reflect. And that's without any sort of glycerin spray, without any Fix Plus or Urban Decay setting spray. That's like nothing. Just a swipe from my finger. That is insane. Next up, we have this really pretty pale champagne color called Magic Act. And honestly, you guys, if you aren't really big into mattes and you want to wear more of like a shimmery foiled eyeshadow on a daily basis, I recommend this one because it's not too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be absolutely beautiful, kind of give your lid like that really pretty wet eye look to it, kind of like the Victoria's Secret or the Blake Lively eye look, to where like the lid looks wet. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, perfect for everyday use. And yeah, so that is all of my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. Now I'm going to jump into Morphe just for the sake of time so you guys aren't like, oh my god, her video is so long. So up here I have some different eyeshadows that I'll talk about next time, but down here I have all of my Morphe eyeshadows, and then I'll just talk about this little guy. This one's from Ofra that I got in like an Ipsy bag a long time ago. I honestly can't remember the name of it, but I will have that listed below for you guys just because I feel like you probably want to know the name of it. But this one can be used as an eyeshadow or as a highlighter. It's really, really pretty. And it, again, kind of gives like that wet look to the eye. I love using this all over the lid. I actually haven't used it as a highlighter before, I don't think. But I'd be really curious to see kind of how that looks on the eye. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump into the Morphe single eyeshadows. The first one I have is a true black. This one is called Coal. Now I will say that the difference between the Makeup Geek eyeshadow singles and the Morphe singles is that with Morphe, they're a little more powdery. They're not going to be quite as buttery, but they're still amazing for the price, which I think they raised it to like $2.49 or something like that. But Makeup Geek eyeshadows are $5 for the mattes and shimmers, I want to say, and then I think like $8 or maybe even $10 for the foiled eyeshadows. But these are really, really nice. So it does feel really good, but see, like the pigment is not quite there for a black. Whenever, you know, you want your black to be like really, really pigmented, it's like pigmented enough to where you could definitely build it up, but it's not going to be something that you're going to want to spend like $10 on just that eyeshadow, if you get what I'm saying. But the next eyeshadow I have I actually use all the time, and this one is called Deep Skin. So whenever I'm wanting to go for more of like a neutral toned, a little bit more on the warm tone side, I will go with this eyeshadow. It's called, or I just said it, Deep Skin, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's the perfect transition shade, especially whenever I am more on the tan side. And then kind of the next step up from that, but definitely more of a warm tone, is called Caramelized. So this is what Caramelized looks like right here. It's really similar to Cocoa Bear, but it doesn't have quite as much depth to it. So it's more of a neutral tone. It's not going to be quite as warm as Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek, but it's still really, really pretty. Next up, I have this really nice neutral color. It's not warm or cool, but it's called Bridesmaid, and it's definitely more on like the gray purpley side, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a really, really pretty color. Again, their eyeshadows are nice. I prefer their eyeshadows that come in their palettes than their singles, but this is what it looks like right here, just so I can show you guys another pigmentation. I would say that out of all of the eyeshadows that I'm going to be showing you, the black is definitely the least pigmented. The other ones are actually really, really good. But again, they're not going to be quite as buttery and creamy as the Makeup Geek. Next, I have the 3 different shimmer shades. This one is called Midnight Kiss. It's a really pretty purple tone, and it has reflex of like a silver in it. It's really, really nice. And this one is a lot more buttery than the matte shades, but this is what it looks like. Again, it'd be perfect for a really nice smoky eye. And then I have a really pretty champagne color that I use all the time, and it reminds me a lot of the Ofra eyeshadow, but it's a little bit more of like a golden champagne as opposed to like a pink champagne. So this is what it looks like, and it's called Pink Moscato, which is kind of weird because it definitely looks, it pulls more golden for sure. But I'll show you guys what this looks like. It's really, really pretty. Again, this would be a really nice color to apply all over the lid. I would also recommend this for like younger girls who are looking for something that is nice and light, but still shimmery and really, really pretty. And then the last eyeshadow that I have for you guys today is this one right here, and it's called Burlesque, which is kind of funny because they both have a burlesque, but this one is more of like a wine color with a little bit less depth to it. So it's not going to be as pigmented in the sense of pigmentation, if you guys get what I'm saying. I'm not making any sense, but this is what it looks like. So it's not quite as deep, it's not quite as red, but it's still pulling that maroon color. So it's really nice. But that is it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoy watching. I just, you know, again, want to kind of give you guys mini reviews of, I have like a hair on my lip, oh my god, of the different products that I have in my makeup collection, because, you know, you buy products and then you find stuff that you love even more, and that's kind of what happens over time. And so I just feel like giving kind of like a mini review and breaking it up like this is a cool idea. So I hope that you guys enjoy, and if you do, please give my video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys soon.